Hi Ragnar runners, welcome to Florida Keys. I'm Carson Camo, the race director for this year's Ragnar Relay Florida Keys. Before you guys hit the ground running, we need to go over some safety notes. I'm going to start you off with a few specific items to the Florida Keys race, and then you will see Tian and Sean. Tian is our race coordinator and Sean our safety coordinator. You'll see them walking you through the rest of the steps. Please realize these notes will be emailed to you as well, and you can follow along and read them after. First, a few items that are specific to the course. If you've already looked at the leg maps, there are a few changes. Legs 2, 19, and 20 are slightly different. Please look at the leg maps to clarify.
So one of the first things I wanted to talk about was the safety gear check-in at the start line in Exchange 6. Van 1 is going to be checking at the start line, and Van 2 is going to check in at Exchange 6. When you check in, you need to have the following safety gear: 2 flashlights or headlamps, 6 reflective vests, and 2 LED taillights. Ultra teams must check in at the start line with just enough equipment for 1 van. Jackets and shirts with reflective piping are not reflective enough to be considered reflective vests. If teams do not have these items at the start line, they will not be allowed to start the race. The next rule is that all runners must run on the left side of the road against traffic unless directed otherwise by course signage. Always run on the sidewalk or a trail if there's an option. All runners must have their team number pinned to the front of their shirt or shorts on the outermost layer of clothing. When you're running at night, make sure that you pin your team number to your reflective vest in a way that doesn't cover the reflective material. If you put a sweatshirt or jacket on, make sure to pin the number to the sweatshirt or jacket. It's really important that volunteers can identify each runner as they're running into the exchange point. Also, it's really important at Ragnar Florida Keys that we only have 1 vehicle per team per minor exchange point. Vehicle 1 is allowed at exchange points 1 to 5. Vehicle 2 is allowed at exchange points 7 to 11. Both vans are allowed at every 6th exchange point, major exchanges. It's really important that each vehicle has the van numbers displayed on their front and rear window. Window stickers will be distributed at the check-in at Exchange 6 and the start line. These numbers are peel and stick numbers that are placed on the outside, rear window, and front window on each van. Be sure to not create a blind spot with the stickers though. Teams using just 1 vehicle should have both van stickers to make sure that they're allowed at every exchange point. It's also really important that runners run in the same sequence for each segment of the race. For example, if a runner runs leg 3, he or she must also run leg 15 and leg 27. In the event of an injury, any of the 11 remaining runners can replace the injured runner. You are not allowed to bring in a 13th member of the team to run the remaining legs. If you are a mixed team and a woman is injured, at least 18 of the legs must be run by women. Vehicles are not allowed to follow racers on the course to illuminate the road for them or pace them. Bike pacers are also not allowed on this course. Foot pacers during nighttime hours must also wear their required safety gear along with their runners. Any runners who violate this rule by littering, honking their horns in residential areas at night, or using the course as their personal restroom will be disqualified and will not be invited back. It's also important that team vehicles are not longer than 20 feet. Motorhomes, pulled trailers, buses, or limos will not be allowed on course to be any team or team support vehicles. 15 passenger vans are allowed.
Hey everyone, my name is Sean and I am the safety director for Ragnar, and I'm just going to take a few minutes and go over some of the general safety rules that you guys will need to follow while at the race. Every single leg is designated as support, no van support, or partial no van support. And what this means is that if it's listed as a no van support or partial, that along those sections of the course you cannot get out of your vans to support your runners, give them food, give them water, cheer them on by getting out of your van. If that leg or that partial no van support section of the leg is longer than 4 miles, we will have water stations available for your runners, so no worries there. Each van will be receiving 2 safety orange crossing flags. So if you're out of your van on a support leg to help your runners out, then you'll need to have those out to make you more visible if you're going to cross the street to support your runner. By no means this makes you invincible to cars, so please look both ways before you cross the road when you're using those flags. The nighttime hours for this race are 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. So during those hours, all of you will need to have a reflective safety vest on at all times if you want to get out of the van. If you're a runner, you're going to need to have that safety vest on, a headlamp, and a blinking tail light as well. Along the entire stretch of the course, we'll have multiple race officials to make sure you guys are safe and that you're following the rules. We will look for people breaking the rules as well, and if you are caught breaking one of those rules, you will receive a text from our race command informing you of the rule infraction. And if you are caught breaking the rules 3 times, you will be disqualified and kicked off the course, so please stay safe. Before the race, all of you will either be arriving at the start line or at Exchange 6 to go through a mandatory safety briefing. This will last around 10 to 15 minutes, no more, where you'll hear a lot of these same rules along with others that you'll need to follow along the course. So please show up an hour early before your start time so you have plenty of time to go through the safety briefing and pick up your packets and everything and be ready to run. There are designated sleeping areas at all of the major exchanges along the course, so please do not just plop your sleeping bags down in any random parking lot you might get parked on top of, so please stay safe and use the designated areas at those major exchanges. We are expecting this to be a pretty warm race because this is Florida Keys, and especially for those who are coming from colder climates and are not used to the warm right now, please make sure you're getting enough to drink. Hydrate before the race, during the race, and after. Take care of yourself. Also, just look out for one another as teammates to make sure that you're staying hydrated. Make sure you're also getting electrolytes and putting on sunscreen for the sun that's out there. We don't want anyone to have to go down and get an ambulance and take a ride to the hospital because they weren't drinking enough. So please keep an eye out for one another as teammates, and we'll all make it to the finish line safely. There are medic stations all along our course at the major exchanges. So starting at Exchange 6 and then to the finish line at each major, you will find a medic tent. In case you are in need of basic first aid, you can go there and get help. You'll also notice that there are addresses of the hospitals that are nearest to every major exchange. If you get dehydrated to the point that you're going to need an IV, you will be transported by an ambulance from one of the medic stations, or if someone calls 911, and then you'll be transported to the hospital to receive that IV if necessary. But please, like I said before, get enough to drink and stay hydrated so that you do not need that. For any other emergencies that anyone sees along the course, please call 911 if it's a major emergency. Also text into Race Command, which is the 661 Ragnar 1 phone number that you'll again hear about at our safety briefings and it's listed on the back of the Rag Mag. And just let us know about that emergency as well.
Hey guys, my name is Tian and I'm the race coordinator. I'm just going to go over some of our general guidelines here for participating in our Ragnar. A lot of these rules are particularly important to our Florida Keys race, so please make sure that you pay special attention as I'm going through some of this. So Becky already went over some of the guidelines for our minor exchanges regarding where vans can be and which exchanges they can be at. Both vans are allowed to be at all of our major exchanges, as she has gone over already. Please make sure that you review which minor exchanges your van can be at so that we don't have congestion at our exchanges. Also make sure that as you arrive at an exchange to drop off a runner, that you're continuing on after that and not lingering at the exchange. But do make sure that after you've left the exchange that you're going to cheer on your runner as well, which is part of what makes Ragnar so great. Please also make sure that you follow our super awesome volunteers' instructions. They have a really tough job, so please be nice to them because we do want them to return next year. Also make sure that if you are parking or pulling over, to pull over completely to the side of the road and do so legally and completely safely as well. Teams that are driving unsafely, whether it's slow or fast, will be issued a violation. Please make sure that you check the holding times from the email that was sent to you when start times were announced. The holding times document can also be found in our race Bible. If your runner does arrive to a major exchange before the times that are outlined on that holding times document, you can be held for up to 2 hours. So please make sure that you're not ahead of the course. On the flip side of that, also make sure that if your team is behind our cleanup crew, we will do our best to help you finish, but do keep in mind that we may move teams forward if that becomes a safety issue or a permitting issue. And the next thing I'm going to go over is van decor, which is one of the greatest elements of our Ragnars. Ragnar does promote fun, but please be mindful and sensitive to others when you're decorating your van. Many of the exchanges that we do use are churches and elementary schools, and without their support, this race would not be successful. Some of the general guidelines you'll want to follow when you're decorating your van: please make sure that you're not using curse words or inappropriate phrases. You guys know these phrases, so I'm assuming we don't have to go over them. Please also refrain from using any sexual innuendos, racial slurs, and make sure that if you're going to put decorations on your van, that they stay on your van so that we don't litter on the streets of Florida Keys. And also make sure to keep in mind, basically, the guideline is you wouldn't put anything on your van that you wouldn't want a first grader to see. We do like our runners to keep it classy, so keep that in mind as you're decorating your van. Just some final notes for you guys. We do have a lot of turn signs on our 200-mile-ish course, but some funny things happen. Signs get stolen, they get moved, or they get knocked down. We do have race officials on site to kind of monitor and patrol this, but please make sure that you check your maps before you start your leg, and also make sure that as a team, you're monitoring your runner and keeping track of them as well. Finally, if you see a team cheat or violate any of the rules, please make sure that you text us into 661-RAGNAR1. I know that it's not very fun to tell on people, but it helps keep you safe, it helps keep their team safe, and it helps keep everyone else on the course safe. More details on these violations and the 661-RAGNAR1 number will be reviewed in your safety briefing when you go to your start time.
We have a few things that we've added, and it's super exciting this year. Ragnar's trying to go green. We want to make our races more sustainable. Some changes that you guys will notice is that we will be giving you a recycle bag and trash bag in your vehicles. You will get these at the check-in, start line, or exchange 6. When you have these, we ask that you please deposit them in the correct manner. Take them to the major exchanges. As mentioned later on in the video, these are every 6 exchange. Number 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and the finish line. We will not have trash receptacles at every one of our exchanges anymore. Please help us out by keeping these areas beautiful so that we are allowed back year to year. The next thing you'll notice are our t-shirts. They're going to be very different this year. We're excited to have moved away from the tech t-shirt into a more lifestyle brand t-shirt. It's a 50-50 blend instead of those tech shirts that get oh so smelly after a run. Please realize we've done this for you. We've made them more comfortable, soft, and wearable day to day instead of just in the race. You will only be able to pick these up pre-packaged at the pre-race party on Thursday or at the start line. Van 2 will no longer be picking up your shirts. You will have to get them from you, the team captain, and disperse them to the teams when you meet at the first major exchange. The next thing that we've moved is we are trying to go to a cupless format. This will take a few years to do, but we want to give you a heads up. Our water stations will still have cups at them. We encourage you to bring a reusable water bottle. You can fill your water bottles at the major exchanges or along the course at these water stations. Please do not litter these cups though. There will be a trash can for you there. As we know, when you guys go through these races, 200 miles is a long time to keep track of your stuff. If you do happen to lose something, course officials will take it to the finish line. You can check in there at headquarters. If we have it, we will give it to you there. If it is something important like a wallet, phone, something like this, it will make it to our offices back in Salt Lake. Any clothing item not picked up Saturday night at the finish line will be donated to our charity, either Friends of Hicks Beach or Special Olympics. If you lose your clothes, sorry, say goodbye forever. Thank you guys for taking time to watch our video. As you know, it's important that these races only happen safe runners, safe volunteers, and safe staff. So please take time, re-watch sections that you need to, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me. It will be at the end of this video, we'll have my email. Please let us know if you're confused. Thank you, and can't wait to see you out on the course.